Welcome back to the Boot Tragedies, man. This is episode 6 of the podcast that drops every Monday, 8 a.m. Let me not say every Monday because I'm surely going to miss some Mondays in my life, and I'm surely going to be later than 8 a.m. for sometimes. But, man, today's topic is going to be strictly Saints today, and we're just going to kind of talk about the roster. We're going to actually grade the roster at each position and kind of rank them from worst to best in that way. In that order. So we'll just jump right into it, man. And we're going to start with the tight ends because they're going to be the worst on this list. Obviously, you have Taysom Hill, who will now be a full-time tight end, his first year in that role. He's probably going to start the year as tight end 1. Then you have Adam Troutman behind him. Up and down year last year. Showed flashes once again, but didn't show enough to, put him in that tight end 1 category. And then the other 3 guys on the roster is Juwan Johnson. Obviously, he shows flashes every now and then. He athletic ability just jumps off the screen. Then you have Nick Vannett, who honestly didn't play too much of last year. He's more of a blocking tight end. Honestly, don't think he'll make this team this year. Then you have Lucas Krull, the tight end from Pitt, going to be a rookie. Signed him in undrafted free agency. So you have a solid group of 5 guys right there. I'll put them last on the list just because, we're not really getting much from the tight end game, or we didn't last year. Hopefully this year will be better. And I'll give that a grade. That's a C-, and that's being nice. I'll give them a C-. I think they're the worst group just on the team in general. All right, the next group up, man, please don't be mad at me because I know some of y'all are just die-hard fans of this guy. But next up on the worst group, I won't call them worst, but hey, we're just going from worst to best, so I guess they're second worst, or you want to look at them as the 7th best. How about that? The 7th best group would be the quarterbacks. Obviously, Jameis Winston, rehabbing from an ACL injury. Hopefully he comes back into training camp 100%, but it's going to be a big year for him. We finally got some weapons around him, new offensive coordinator, things like that, but they did bring in Andy Dalton as the backup. I do think this is the best backup we've had since Jameis Winston. But yeah, this is the best backup we had. He's obviously going to be better than Trevor Siemian and Ian Book, who's also on this list as well. I guess you can say Taysom Hill. He's like the letter Y when you do the vowels A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y. This quarterback is sometimes Taysom. Who knows at this point? But Winston, Dalton, Ian Book. Those are the 3 guys for the most part. They're just going to be right above the tight ends. I'll give this quarterback group a C+. Winston's helping them out. Dalton's helping them out. Ian Book. And it's a lot of in here. And Winston, we just don't know what we're going to get from him just because he's hurt. Obviously, he's a better than a C quarterback, but the other guys, not so much. The next up on the list will be running backs. And I hate to do this, man, because it's been 3 straight offensive positions on the worst list, going from worst to best. So it is what it is, though, man. I think the running backs are next up on this list. You have, obviously, Alvin Kamara, all-pro running back. When he's healthy, the best in the game, in my opinion. Can do a multitude of things, catch it, run between the tackles, whatever you need from him, he can do it. So, man, Alvin Kamara obviously is helping this group a lot. And then you have Mark Ingram, kind of getting old, man. Came back to the team last year. Still productive, not anything crazy, but he's a productive back. Not going to give you anything crazy. He's going to, pass block, catch it in a screen game. Can still run between the tackles as well. And then after that, man, you have Abram Smith, the running back from Baylor, who looked pretty good on film from what I've seen. Then you have Tony Jones Jr., who lit up preseason last year. Kind of got everybody hopes up that he was going to be the next guy. You have the backup running back that the Saints needed. That didn't really work out. Then you have Dwayne Washington, who's a special teams guy, who's basically probably going to be fighting for Abram Smith for that job because obviously Abram Smith played linebacker in college, so he has that special teams ability. And yeah, those running backs, man, I'll give them as same as the quarterback, a C+ without Alvin Kamara. This might be an F. Without Alvin Kamara, but a C+ with him. So obviously he's there, and that's a okay group, man. So yeah, starting off, man, we got tight ends, quarterbacks, then running back. I think those are the bottom 3 of the list. And now I'll go to the middle of the pack. Of the list, it'll be the bottom 3, middle of the pack 3, and then the top 3. That's how I'll do it with the 9 positions or 9 categories on the field. And coming in at number, I guess this would be 987. Number 6 will be the offensive line group. Up and down last year, a lot of injuries, a A lot of setbacks. Obviously, Armstead being hurt. He's no longer with us. And we replace him with first-round pick Trevor Penning. He's going to come in. Starting next to him will be Andres Pete. He's also coming from a season-ending injury, so we'll need him back fully, healthy at full strength. And you got Eric McCoy, who also missed some games at center. Cesar Ruiz, who's the only guy that didn't miss games, but we probably were going to be better if he did miss some games. He was that bad last year. We're looking for a bounce-back year from him. And then obviously at right tackle, another guy that missed some games, but all-pro right tackle, could be an all-pro left tackle if you want to be. Ryan Ramczyk, who's probably a top 5 player on this Saints team. He's solid. He's the best of the bunch, obviously. Then you got some backups that got some real nice experience last year. Obviously, you got Kelvin Throckmorton. He played well last year. He played guard. Then you got Forrest Lamp, who was just signed. You have James Hurst that played a little tackle for us. So, man, them backups that came in, they played well. They're going to have an opportunity to make this team. Most of them will make this team just because the things they did last year was just amazing to come in. All those guys being hurt. Just stepping up, man. Stepping up to the challenge. I think those guys are great. Those that actually put the offensive line out the bottom 3 and actually to the middle 3. With the starters, they might be bottom 3, but with that backups, man, the depth that they have at offensive line, they made it to the middle 3, and yeah, they're on this list at number 6. And at number 5 on the list comes in the linebackers. Now, this one was trouble. I want to put them in the bottom 3 just because of the depth. I don't really like the depth that's going on, but you just can't put Demario Davis and Pete Warner. That's probably going to be one of the best linebacker duos in the league next year in the bottom 3. So obviously, man, they're going to come in at number 5 on my list. The linebackers I just talked about, Demario Davis, all-pro. He's that good, best in the business, top 3. Wherever you want to put him, that's where he is. He's going to be the leader of this defense. Going to be an excellent player. Still has about 2 to 3 more prime years. He is what he is. We know what he's going to be. He's a captain of this team. Then you got Pete Warner, who had to share time with Quan Alexander last year. When he did play, he played well. I was begging for the Saints to play him more and more. But Quan was playing well as well. You're obviously not going to take DeMario off the field, so he just had to play sparingly. He had to play. But when he did step on that field, he was excellent. I love the way he played. Then you have other guys like Caden Ellis on the roster still. Andrew Dow, who had a crazy training camp, preseason last year. I thought he was going to step up and actually get some playing time. But DeMario, Quan, and Pete Warner, they're just a tough bunch to pass up, especially if you're not like a linebacker that can rush the passer. It was going to be super hard to get on the field. Then you got DeMarco Jackson, who we just drafted. He may crack the rotation. He may be a special teams guy, but that's also a good piece. And then you, last but not least, have Zach Bond. And after his preseason last year, this is his last hope. He's probably not going to make this team. We'll see what he can do in the preseason. But it did not look good last year. He didn't play last year at all, and rightfully so, just because when he did, it just was not good. So, man, hopefully, hey, he got one more year to change it around or one more minicamp to change it around, and we'll see what he can do. But that wraps up the linebacker group, man. They're also in the middle of the pack. They're coming in number 5 on the list. And number 4 on the list is probably going to shock some people, or you probably just didn't even think of them as a position group. But I made them a position group anyway, and it's the special teams. Yeah, you heard it, the special team. Now, I'm assuming these guys are healthy. Obviously, at long snapper, you got Zach Wood. He just is what he is. He doesn't really screw up. So he's a pretty good long snapper. I'm not going to sit here and talk about the long snapper forever. Then, obviously, you have Will Lutz. Hopefully, he's healthy, man. He's healthy this year. Kicking was atrocious. We saw all the kickers that came in. It was a bad year of kicking for the Saints. Hopefully, Will Lutz is healthy. When he's healthy, he's top 5 in the game. Honestly, I'll call him number 2 in the game behind Justin Tucker, because it's a battle after that. But Will Lutz is that good. Big leg, strong leg, accurate kicker, and you just love that. Then you got Gilligan, man. The best player on the Saints last year was Blake Gilligan. Let's just be honest. He was the best player for us. I know it's crazy saying the punter is your best player, because obviously they don't make a huge impact on the game like other positions. But if you take that out of the question, man, Gilligan was our best player. He should have been All-Pro, should have been Pro Bowl, but he's a rookie, so you know how that goes. But, man, yeah, he's one of the best in the business already at what he does. And I kind of threw in the returners in there. You got Deontay Hardy, obviously still one of the best in the business. I put Rashid Shaheed in there. Not really throwing a rookie out there for impact-wise, but from what he did in college, he's going to be a good player. And then you have JT Cray, who's kind of the gunner, the special teams captain and stuff like that. He's going to be real good. He needs to step it up, though, honestly, because we still are looking to replace that Justin Hardy role. JT Greer is okay, but it wasn't the same. And that right there will wrap up the middle three, man. Now we're going to go to the top three. Let's just recap real quick. Tight ends, they came in at 9. Quarterbacks came in at 8. Running backs at 7. O-line at 6. Linebackers at 5. And the special teams at 4. And coming in at number 3, these three groups I feel like are the top 3 of the team. And it's crazy because this group at number 3 was last year. I think it was evident that they were last year, and they've already made the biggest improvement on this team. I honestly wanted to put them in at one just because they're so improved, but they're not that good yet. Maybe 1 or 2 signings away. But coming in number 3, all the wide receivers. Obviously, this group was pathetic last year. That's just the way you got to put it. I know quarterbacks, we played 4 different quarterbacks, but the receivers did not give them any help. We had Callaway as receiver 1, Traquan Smith. We had Kenny Stills out there. It was just a bad year for receivers. But this year, man, Michael Thomas will be back. When he was healthy, when he played, he obviously broke the NFL record for receptions, had a lot of yards, touchdowns. He's a top 5 guy in the NFL when he's healthy. So getting him back, that's obviously going to help the receivers. Then you draft Chris Olave, a stud receiver with the number 11 pick from Ohio State. He's going to be good for us, a deep threat, intermediate guy, screen guy, whatever you want him to do, he can do it. So he's going to be good in very, very different ways for the Saints. Then you got Callaway, who's going to be wide receiver 3. It's going to be good for him, man. He played wide receiver 1 last year going against the top corners. He's never going to see a top corner this year unless people get hurt. Knock on wood, that doesn't happen. He'll never see a number 1 corner again this season. So that's good for him, man. He'll be facing number 3 guys, number 4 guys, nickel guys, maybe some safeties if he drops down in the slot. It just won't be top tier guys, and that's going to be good for him. He's going to dominate that. Then you have Deontay Hardy, who was also a really, really good receiver for us last year. Can get separation. Obviously can beat guys deep. That's going to be a good thing if we can get him as a number 4 guy, not trying to line him up out wide, trying to run the entire route tree. That's also going to be a good thing. Traquan Smith, I think he's going to be wide receiver 5. Hey, and I'm okay with that. Him at wide receiver 2, I am not okay with. Then you got guys, man, that was on the roster last year at some point. Didn't really play much, but made it through training camp. Going to come back this year. Issa Winston Jr., who I'm still a big fan of his. If you watch my video on him, I like the way he plays football. The Saints obviously don't because they didn't play him last year, and we sucked at receiver. I'm surprised none of these receivers actually got a chance with the product we was putting on the field, but I think that's a Sean Payton thing. He was going to ride with the guys he had. Then you got Jalen McCleskey, who I thought was going to play as well. He looked good out of Tulane. He didn't play at all. Then we got Kawan Baker, I believe out of South Alabama, who didn't play at all as well last year. Those 3 guys, I really like their film. They were okay. They definitely should have got a chance last year. Issa Winston, he played some return when Hardy went out with that suspension, but nothing really at receiver, man. But that's a solid receiver group. I'm going to give that group, I forgot to grade these groups. Let me go back and grade them linebackers and special teams real quick. But I'll give this receiver group a B++. Wanted to give them an A-, but I'm still not sold on the back half of that group. So a B++ for them. Special teams, I'm giving a B for special teams just because I don't know what Lutz's health is. And then linebackers, I'm going to give them a B- for DeMario Warner and those guys. Number 2 on the list, man. I went back and forth with this one with number 2 and number 1, but I think it became evident. I think it became obvious who number 1 was. So number 2 on the list, this was tough. I'm going with the defensive line. Like I said, this one was tough between them, and obviously the last group will be the DBs, but this is the D-line's turn. This was tough, man. Obviously, we're great at D-line. We got a Hall of Famer up there in Cam Jordan, who last year started off the year slow. Let's not even say that. He started off the last year trash. I'm going to just say that. He took a lot of flack from me. I killed him week in and week out, but those last 6 weeks, turned it up a notch. He became the All-Pro Cam Jordan. Still a beast in the run game. Can't stop him there. Then you got guys like Shy Tuttle, who came back to the Saints, Kentavious Street, that we signed this all season. I think he's going to be a good player, versatile player. Then you got David Onyemata, top D tackle in the game. one of the most underrated players in the game. No one really talks about him, but he's really, really good. You got Jaleel Johnson, Malcolm Roach. That's going to be good. You got Carl Granderson out there at defensive end. Tano. And you still have Taco Charlton that they drafted this year. And the last two guys I'll mention, Marcus Davenport. When he's healthy, he's a top 5 player on the Saints team. I know it may sound crazy. You may not see it. It doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but that dude is that good. He's that strong. He's that powerful. All the talent in the world. Traded a first-round pick to get him, basically spending 2 first-round picks. He hasn't lived up to it, but when he's played, he's been elite. He just needs to stay healthy. If he stays healthy, big things are coming, but I've been saying that for the last 3 years. And the last defensive lineman I'm going to talk about is Peyton Turner. Man, another first-round pick, another project guy. Drafted him in the first round out of Houston. I was super confused because we did not need him. Another versatile guy that could play inside and outside, just like Cam Jordan, just like Tano, just like Davenport. And yeah, he didn't really see the field last year. He played in like 3 or 4 games, if I remember correctly. I know when he did play against Carolina, he came out swinging. Oh, I thought we got the steal of the draft. I was calling him the rookie of the year. All type of things. The next game against the Patriots, I believe, didn't quite do the same. Was pretty shut down, but hey, he's a rookie. That's the Patriots. You know Bill Belichick wasn't going to let a rookie come outshine him. But then he got hurt. Didn't really see the field again. He has to get healthy, man. He's kind of on the same path that Davenport was on, being hurt rookie year. We need those 2 guys healthy, man. If those 2 guys are healthy with the rest of these guys, man, we're like 10, 11 deep. Everybody's not going to make this team. I don't know who's going to miss out, but it's going to be an absolute battle to make this team at the defensive line position. Oh, I'm also forgetting Jordan Jackson, man. We just drafted him from Air Force. Forgot about him. You add him to this defensive line as well. Now you're 11, 12 guys deep. It's really going to be tough to make the team. He's a whole draft pick, and he's going to have trouble making this team. So, yeah, defensive line comes in at number 2. They're going to be a really solid group. I give them an A+. Honestly, that's an A+ group. I was going to try to shortchange him and give him an A. That's an A+ group. That's one of the best groups in the NFL, man. That's going to be a staple. Obviously, that rush defense is a staple. The pass rush is good. We just can't stay healthy, and we can't stay consistent. But when they're on, and there's nothing like it. I love seeing it. And coming in number 1, the defensive backs, man. Round of applause for Dennis Allen, the Saints organization, Mickey Loomis, because our defensive backs have been terrible through the years. It's been awful until we signed cornerback 1, Marshawn Lattimore from Ohio State. Before that, we just had journeyman corners. We signed Jarius Byrd. Oh, my God. I can't believe I even mentioned his name again. But DBs have been awful for the Saints for a long time, and now we're back on track. Obviously, starting off with Marshawn Lattimore, all-pro type of guy, lockdown corner. I think the best in the league, especially after what Jalen Ramsey showed me towards the end of the season in the playoffs. He's kind of fell. His stock has kind of fell, in my opinion, a little bit. So I'm going to give Marshawn Lattimore that cornerback 1 title. Then you have Tyrann Mathieu. We just added another all-pro, Pro Bowl caliber player. You can call him a corner. You can call him a safety. You can call him nickel. You can call him a linebacker. He's a ball player, man. He's a football player. He's really good. And obviously, he's going to be top in the league at his position, whatever position that may be. Then you have C.J. Gardner-Johnson, crazy man, going to talk trash. He's in a contract year. One of the best nickels in the game. Great in run defense. He's really good. Obviously, still on his rookie contract, and he's just been a baller ever since he stepped in the door for the Saints. Then you have P.J. Williams, who a couple years ago wanted him off this roster, but now he's been the king of 1-year deals, and he's actually played pretty well. Last year he played well, and hopefully he can continue that. He may have a chance to start this year, but we'll see about that. Then we have Marcus May coming from the Jets, man, coming off an Achilles injury, but modern technology is great. We watched Quan do it, come off that and play great. I think he's going to be a great addition to the secondary as well. Obviously, losing Marcus Williams. He's no Marcus Williams. He does some things better than Marcus Williams, but he also can't do some things that Marcus Williams did. I think he'll still be a solid replacement in that role, even though I don't think one guy will replace Marcus Williams. We'll kind of be interchangeable back there. Then you have the Tennessee guys. I know you like guys. It's only one. We drafted Alontae Taylor, obviously second round cornerback. He has the tools to play safety, but Dennis Allen says he sees him as a cornerback. He says he sees himself as a cornerback. So we're just going to call him a cornerback at this moment. And then if you remember, we got Bryce Thompson out of undrafted free agency last year, who I thought was really good. They kept him around. He's going to be back for another mini camp, training camp. So that's a good sign for him. Another year in the system. Hopefully he's gotten better. A chance to compete. He won't make this roster. I'm sorry to say it. At cornerback, it's going to be damn near impossible to make this roster. Then you have Bradley Roby. Obviously took a pay cut to stay with the Saints. I thought they were going to cut him outright, but they didn't. He took a pay cut. He's going to be better. He's like cornerback 3 or 4, which is insane because he's a really, really good cornerback. Then you have Paulson Adebo, up and down rookie year. Played great in moments. Played pretty bad in some moments, like that Giants game. They were picking on him, but had a super, super solid rookie season. That's after missing a year before. He sat out due to COVID the year before in college at Stanford. So he's really, played last year off missing the entire year of football. So he actually had a pretty, pretty good season after doing that. And you have Daniel Sorensen. Woo! Had to leave him for last because I don't know why he's on the team. But hey, he's a good guy, man. Special teams guy. Let's just hope he has. That's what you call it when you tell him, hey, just go out there and have fun. That's going to be Daniel Sorensen if he ever touched the field, man. Just go out there and have fun, my guy. But, no, in all honesty, man, this is the best group we have. This is a great, 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 great group. This is an A++ group, man. Dennis Allen, he obviously has the formula. He has guys he like. Defense is his staple. Obviously, been a defensive coordinator for so long now. He's the head coach. But this defense has been elite since he stepped on the Saints coaching staff, and hopefully this doesn't change, man. The DBs, they're definitely one A++ with that group. And let's just go through this ranking one more time, man. At number 9, we got the tight ends, 8 the quarterbacks, 7 the running backs, 6 the offensive line, 5 the linebackers. At 4, we got the special teams group, 3 the receivers, 2 the defensive line, and 1 the defensive backs. If you disagree, let me know. If you agree, let me know, man. Rate them yourself if you want to in the comments below. We'll talk about it as always, man. But if you made it this far, you're a GOAT. You're a GOAT because this has been a long video, man. But as always, this is the Boo Tragedies, and I'm out.